Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and welcome counselors to Friday the 13th. Today we are ranking all of the Friday the 13th movies from the bottom of Crystal Lake to the absolute glorious, goriest heights of the franchise. We are going to rank them all here, so pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, camp counselors, I hope you are ready because this is the bloodiest orientation and ranking that you are ever going to survive. We've got machetes in here. We've got total mayhem. Hell, we are going to space before we are finished here, and I just kind of want to apologize for that one right out of the gate because not my favorite, as you'll see. But let's hack into it and start at the bottom of the list here. And I apologize to all of you fans, but it is Jason X coming in at number 12 at the bottom of Crystal Lake, from all the way out in outer space to the absolute bottom. It's still fun. It still has a great kill. We've got the liquid, nitrogen kill. That's super cool. But it's kind of like, what do you do? Let's send them to space. That's kind of like the last moment when you jump the shark. You do get like I said, a couple of cool kills, but like this, I don't know. You've got Uber Jason, and Uber Jason is kind of cool, but you've got like faux, like digital counselor camp settings, all this kind of stuff. I don't know. And I enjoy the 4K. Look, I'm just going to say this right now for anyone who might get upset. I like watching all these movies. I watch them every summer, multiple times, and then if a Friday the 13th comes along, I'm going to pop several of them in. I love all these movies. This is probably my favorite franchise. It's this and Halloween as far as horror franchises. Even though I love Nightmare on Elm Street, I love all these movies. This one, though, Metal Jason, that he's cool, but not quite. You do get a Cronenberg cameo in here. It's not without its fun. It's not without its merits. I love this 4K and the artwork, but Jason X for me comes in at the bottom at number 12. Now at number 11 on this list is one that the only reason it's not at the bottom is because the excessive amount of nudity kind of like bumps it up. Because for me, growing up in the 80s, slasher movies, horror movies, the TNA went hand in hand with the kills. It was part of the trope. It was part of the fun. It was part of the stuff you weren't supposed to be doing and watching. But that's the only thing that puts this above Jason X, because otherwise it would be at the bottom. I'm talking A New Beginning from 1985. I actually saw this at the theater with my older brother. But it's like, it doesn't really, I mean, the kills are sleazy. It's got a crazy plot. It just doesn't feel like the real deal to me. We don't get Jason in the movie. So like the nudity, all that stuff, it just doesn't make up for it. It's fun. Like all these are still fun. I don't know. The sleaze factor, I'm just gonna be honest, probably bumps it up above Jason X for me. But this is still close to the bottom. And The New Beginning, or A New Beginning from 85, comes in at number 11 on my list. Now, at number 10 on my list is Jason Takes Manhattan. I also saw this in the theater. I was like 10 or 11 years old. But Jason doesn't actually really take Manhattan. It's more like he spends 10 minutes walking through the alleys of New York and punches a guy's head clean off, which is very cool on top of the building. But really, he's just kind of on a boat the whole time. And so it really should say Jason on a boat or Jason takes a cruise more than Jason Takes Manhattan. You do have those couple of moments that I think are really fun. I love where he is walking down the streets. Although, is it Manhattan? Really? Did they go there? I feel like a lot of this was shot in Vancouver. But where he's walking down the street and he kicks through the kids' stuff. I love that part. I love the boxing match on top of the roof, and he punches the guy's head off. So it does have some fun to it, but I just really wish he was actually in Manhattan more, and I think it would go way up. But give me Jason back at the campground. That's where I want him. So Jason Takes Manhattan comes in at number 10. I'll make sure I got my numbers written down over here. So coming in at number 9, another one. I saw most of these at the movie theater. I'm old, y'all. So coming in at number 9 is A New Blood, or better yet, Jason versus Carrie. That's what it really comes down to. That's what it's always been boiled down to. You've got the telekinetic twist of the girl. But the thing is, this is when the MPA was like really hitting horror movies hard. So you got a lot of heavy censoring in this. Now you do get, when you get the uncensored version, the kills kick it up a notch. And if you know what I'm talking about here. But I don't know. It just feels like, it's like, oh, well, I got an idea. Instead of copying Halloween this time, let's have Jason versus Carrie. And that's what I feel like you did here. I still enjoy this movie. Again, enjoy all these movies, but if you have to rank them, A New Blood for me comes in down a little bit lower, checks in at number 9. Now, at number 8 on the list is, I'm probably going to start taking heat here because I think a lot of people would have this one higher than me. But we've got Jason Lives from 1986. Again, saw this. I had an older brother, it's like 4 years older than me. We watched horror movies all the time. So I was like 7 when this one dropped. He was like 11 or 12, got dropped off at the movies and went and saw Jason Lives. Jason gets, I love the ode to this, like the old Frankenstein thing. Kind of like old school horror films, the way he's resurrected. You got the blue lightning, all that kind of stuff. He's like Frankenstein's, badass cousin or whatever. It's self-aware. It's kind of meta. Before that was super cool, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's more spoofy. So you've got Zombie Jason, of course. You've got that working. You've got paintball guys. You've got the old school cemetery vibes, but I don't know, the campiness of it kind of sets it outside a lot. And you could say, well, it's not campy, it's meta. It's both, in my opinion. And although I do enjoy it and I love that opening sequence, I read this as a horror comedy, which for me doesn't completely fit in this world necessarily, but I do really like Jason Lives, but it comes in at number 8 for me. Now, I just feel like I'm in that high cotton territory where I'm going to start taking heat. But coming in at number 7 for me is Part 3. This is 3D. Now, I was only like 3 or 4 when this came out. This one I do not remember seeing in the theater, so I can't comment on that one. But I mean, you got the whole 3D eye popping, everything here, but you got Jason getting his hockey mask, and that is really cool because that's what we really identify Jason and the Friday the 13th series with, is the machete and the hockey mask. Well, that comes in here, and it's a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, the day that I'm recording this, who knows when you're going to see this out there in YouTube land, but this is Friday the 13th. In June of 2025, this very night, I'm doing a live stream watch along for this movie. We're going to watch this on YouTube, myself and 2 other YouTubers, Jason at Pop Culture Mass and Brian at The Last Movie Standing, on the day that I'm recording this tonight at 10 p.m. We are watching this. So I really do enjoy it. You're going to hear a lot of my thoughts on it there. I'm sure you'll be able to go back and find that whenever you see this out there in YouTube land. But the 3D gimmick goes on through here. It's a little much. It doesn't age really well overall. You can't really experience it the way it's supposed to be. But he gets his mask in here. It's fun. I like Part 3. You've got some dumbass characters in this movie. But hey, I hear a lot of complaint about characters in slashers. Like, is that what you're really there for? Is the cannon fodder, the ones that get killed, do they need to be likable? Do they need to be smart? Hell no. You just need to have a good time. Part 3 is a good time. It comes in at number 7. At number 6 here is, boy, this is when I'm really going to start to take heat because I think a lot of people have this at the bottom. I disagree. I love Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, you basically have body swapping Jason. This one's 1993, so I was close to driving myself to watch this one at the theater. But I love this one. I think it's fun. I think it introduces some really good concepts. Like, the only way, I know a lot of people, and I think my buddy Jason is in on this, he's like, you kind of jump the shark when you go to the supernatural territory because of where this movie started. But I would argue that if Jason somehow survived the drowning and the way he came back out of the lake as a little boy, he was always undead. He was always of supernatural origin, unless he just lived at the bottom of that lake for years without dying. He was always brought back by evil supernatural forces. And then it just kind of gets left. And nobody talks about it. But hell, how does he keep coming back from the dead if he's not supernatural? So I always thought of him as supernatural from the moment at the end of the first one where he comes back to life out of the lake. So this one is the one that picks that up and kind of goes in the mythology of how he's brought back, and he's powered by souls, and these souls are damned if he collects them and everything else. Which, yes, they maybe borrowed that idea from Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit, but I like it. I like the idea of he is possessing people, and he's just a demon at this point, brought back from hell from the very beginning as a child, brought back from hell, and now his demon visage has adopted this form. That's why he sees himself as that form. And I like the idea of other people getting to be Jason and see how they would portray Jason. I think it's cool. I like how he gets dragged to hell at the end, all that kind of stuff. I think there's a whole lot deeper mythology here that I wish they had explored more. That was always it had to be in the background. It's kind of like in From Dusk Till Dawn, where he's like, what were they, crazies? And George Clooney's like, sunlight does not make crazy people explode when it hits them. I don't give a damn how crazy they are. Jason always had to be an evil supernatural being. Otherwise, he doesn't come back as a kid from the bottom of the lake, and he doesn't keep coming back to life. This picked it up and took it. I actually enjoy this film. I'm unabashedly a fan of Jason Goes to Hell. Some great practical effects in this movie too, loaded with practical effects. Jason Goes to Hell, for me, checks in at number 6. Now we're at the top 5, and number 5, I know a lot of people may have this lower. A lot of people consider this a Freddy movie. Instead, I am talking Freddy vs. Jason. This is like the cage match of your nightmares. This is like in the 80s getting to see Rambo fight the Terminator. I mean, it is dumb fun. It is brutal. There is some brutality in this. It mixes in the Halloween time of year, which is super cool because you don't get that really in a lot of horror movies. Freddy's got his quips. Jason slashes. We get from Elm Street to Crystal Lake. I just think it's fun. It is damn fun, and it's something that like little kid me could have only dreamed of seeing. And man, I just have a lot of fun with Freddy vs. Jason. For me, it's top 5 in both franchises. So Freddy vs. Jason comes in at number 5. Number 4 is the original Friday the 13th. This is the OG. You got no Jason. You got no hockey mask. You got just a really pissed off, disturbed mom and a lot of POV kills. It's somewhat slow. You could argue it's slow, but the final scene, the twist, is legendary. Overall, I would say that this kind of feels like a ghost story that you tell around a campfire. It's kind of like a comfort film. A lot of these Friday the 13th movies I can put on in the background. You just enjoy them. I'll take a nap on the couch watching them. I can wake back up, still get right back into it. It's like throwing on a warm blanket. Friday the 13th has all of that. Of course, the iconic, music that it put forth that's out there in the world. I still really enjoy this movie. I just think it got surpassed by a few of them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That means you are at least doing some things right, because usually in franchises, the longer something goes, the worse it gets. You've got some bangers that go ahead of this, and honestly, maybe even argue that a couple that are below it could be above it. But out of respect for laying the groundwork, I won't put it any lower. Friday the 13th, the OG from 1980 with Mrs. Voorhees doing the killing. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a ripoff of Halloween, but who cares? Comes in at number 4. All right, here we go. Boy. Coming in at number 3 is Part 2. Part 2 takes everything that Part 1 did well and improves on it. It's almost, you could argue, the same movie, but we get Jason. We get Sackhead Jason, which, yes, looks like a ripoff of the villain in The Town That Dreaded Sundown with the whole Sackhead thing. And it's cool, but he does not have the iconic hockey mask yet, but we get Jason, and that is the big point that starts to turn this. You get a lot of your tropes that were established in Part 1 kind of solidified and built upon in Part 2, including something that everybody kind of forgets about, the skinny dipping. Everybody's always like, don't drink, don't have sex, don't do drugs, all this stuff in the movie. But it's really this, I always think of the skinny dipping, and in this one, you have an iconic skinny dipping scene that's established. Like, who the hell goes out into a lake in the middle of nowhere at nighttime, gets naked by themselves and swims in the moonlight? I mean, maybe you would, but you're kind of asking for it, and this movie kind of puts it in there about don't do that. This one is grimy. It has some cool like chase scenes in it. It has a really good final girl in this one. I'm trying to think of everything. I mean, I just think that the sequel ups the tension, ups the kills, and if you're not even safe in a wheelchair, like you're like, something about it tells you at the beginning, like, well, this guy's going to survive. They wouldn't kill him. The hell they wouldn't. They kill the hell out of him and everyone else. This is also one of the top 10 4K restorations I have ever seen, regardless of genre, regardless of who put it out. I love this movie. It really kicks the series into high gear. Part 2, love it. Absolutely love it. It checks in at number 3. And then that leaves 2. And coming in at number 2 on this list is The Final Chapter. I love this movie. This is probably the one I go to. This one and 2, and my number 1 are the ones I probably go to the most often. I mean, you've got everything. You've got Savini's gore back in this one. This one is damn near perfect. Matter of fact, I did a video where I asked AI recently to tell me the top 10 horror movies of all time. It had this at number 10, for whatever that's worth. AI is crap. But you get Crispin Glover in here with an excellent kill, the way he gets killed in this. I'm going to date myself, but you got the Doublemint twins in here. Crispin Glover's awkward dancing deserves for him to get killed. This is like peak 80s slasher films. It's mean, it's fun, it's got your nudity. Jason looked awesome in this one, very brutal. And then you've got the introduction of Corey Feldman, who's basically a mini Tom Savini in this. He's making movie stuff, he's making horror movie stuff, so I identify with him because he's into movie stuff, he's into horror movie stuff. He's got the traumatic haircut at the end that he does to himself to distract Jason. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's damn near, it's perfect. It's perfect as far as a Friday the 13th slasher film. Not the final one, but I absolutely love this movie, and it might surprise you that it's not my number 1 because I love it so much, but number 1 is going to piss a lot of people off. It is 2009, Friday the 13th. I think this movie is incredible. Maybe it's a hot take. I don't care. This thing, it rips. It is a banger as you kids say. And the kills are super vicious in this. Yes, I have a personal connection to this. I was a guest at Days of the Dead in Los Angeles. Derek Mears came by. He bought some of my movies. He came back by again and said one of the movies of mine that he bought from me, he had already bought previous to meeting me. Super nice guy. I think he kills it as Jason. Jason is super violent, aggressive. And a lot of, it's technically a remake, a reboot, whatever. I actually read this thing as a sequel because at the beginning of this movie, they talk about Jason and the history of him. They really go through part 1, part 2, and part of part 3 in their discussion of the history of Camp Crystal Lake and the Jason character. So it already existed in their universe. So to me, it's not a remake. It's not a remake at all. Plus they go in and find like where Jason stayed and all that kind of stuff. So not a remake. To me, it's more of a direct sequel to part 2 and maybe parts of part 3. And then they have Jason find his mask in here. So it's more of a direct sequel to me than it is a remake or a reboot. Now, the one thing they do in here that I don't like, that they save themselves on at the end, as I said earlier, I've always saw Jason as a supernatural figure. I think he has to be to keep surviving, being brought back to life with lightning, all that shit. He has to be a supernatural figure. And this was during that point in time where they tried to humanize. Rob Zombie was doing it with Michael Myers, who's the boogeyman. He's not normal human. They were trying to take away the supernatural aspect. So they had like the tunnels with the little alert things, trying to explain how he got around and all that kind of stuff. And I don't like that. He's a supernatural being, in my opinion. But they undo it at the end by him coming back from the dead once again. So they kind of redeem that part. Yes, I hear a lot of complaints about the cast in this. The casts are basically stereotypes. They are, but that's the whole thing. It's an homage to all of those movies. It's got all the violent kills, the boobs, the sex scenes, the gratuitous partying. All that stuff is in here perfectly. And then you actually almost have 2 final girls in this, which is kind of cool and different. But you also have Jared Padalecki as a final guy. Now, I'm a huge fan of Supernatural, so I was a fan of his. But they have a legit, Padalecki's a big dude. I've said this before, so I like the fact that he's a legitimate fight with Derek Mears, with Jason, all that kind of stuff. And some of the cinematography in this is just second to none when it comes to cinematography. I absolutely love it. I think this is an awesome Friday the 13th movie, and I think it is a great homage to everything I love about all of these wrapped up into one. And for that reason, it comes in at number 1 on my list. And there you have it, campers. 12 trips to Crystal Lake, some epic, some cursed, some all the way into outer space. But, do you think I got it right? I'm sure this is open to interpretation. Hell, this list has changed for me since I first did it a year ago, and I've rewatched and watched and watched more, and as much as you change, it will change. But it's Friday the 13th today when I'm doing this, so remember, don't drink, don't party, don't have ill-timed sex, and damn sure don't skinny dip and say, "I'll be right back." Don't do any of that today. Stay safe and have some fun. Watch all of these movies. Hang out with me later tonight as we live watch part 3. It is going to be a blast. Let me know what you think. Give me your list. Hell, at least give me your top 5 down there. Let me know what you think because I absolutely love these movies. But until next time, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If this is your first time here, you can join the channel and support it by becoming a channel member at YouTube. The link is below, or my Patreon, where I can do all of this stuff, uncensored clips and all that kind of stuff, and don't have to worry about it. But no matter what, you're going to get your name and lights on every video, all kinds of extra stuff, and party like it's Friday the 13th. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. Don't skinny dip. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.